Welcome back, mobile home park investors. This next lesson will talk about why it's incredibly difficult to build and develop a mobile home park in today's environment. We'll also explain why this is actually a good thing for you as a future owner of an existing mobile home park. Development has been a struggle for as long as I've been in the mobile home park industry. At the private equity firm that I worked at, every quarter we would read what the analysts were saying about the mobile home park industry. These analysts were covering the large mobile home park REITs, ELS and Sun. Every quarter they said pretty much the exact same thing: no new supply. I saw this firsthand as my firm was trying to piece together a development project that was projected to return almost 30%. I watched as the development timeline lengthened and lengthened. This was because we couldn't get the proper entitlements from the municipality for our wastewater treatment plant. As time went on and we were waiting for these entitlements, things got worse from a macroeconomic standpoint. Inflation took hold and we saw development costs start to skyrocket. The price of new homes from the major manufacturers was up 50% or more, and the cost to do site prep and setup of those homes also went up a similarly mind-boggling amount. To combat the rampant inflation, the Fed started raising rates, which caused our cost of debt to increase significantly as well. In turn, this drove down our return expectations even further. Over the 2-year span where the municipality was twiddling their thumbs, we saw about 10% sliced off the top of our initial return projection. I bring this story up to demonstrate 3 things. Number 1, the high cost of development is making it very difficult to be profitable in the current environment. In my story, you saw that new home prices as well as site prep and setup costs increased 50%. Number 2, the most profitable MSAs to build a mobile home park are usually the places that will be the most difficult to develop due to zoning and entitlement bureaucracy. In my story, we were developing in the Miami MSA. As we previously discussed in prior videos, the bigger the MSA, the more difficult and expensive it can be to build there. And we were having trouble getting the entitlements we needed on a timely basis for the wastewater treatment plant for this exact reason. Number 3, the longer your development takes, the more risk is typically involved and the higher the returns will need to be in order to combat that risk. Because the timeline was extended due to the entitlement process, we faced macroeconomic shifts that increased our cost of debt and therefore brought our returns down even further. That's just one story. However, it's a story I've heard again and again. I'm sure there are successful mobile home park developments that have had less drama with the municipality and end up being very profitable. But I'm here to tell you that developing a mobile home park is not always as profitable as it seems. And if it were, my private equity firm and others would be just throwing money at various projects. That wasn't the case at my firm, and I quickly learned why. So let's take a deeper dive on the confluence of reasons why developing a mobile home park is very difficult. Reason number 1, development costs are too high. Given the current cost of development, building a new MHP is generally not a good investment. At the time of this filming, MHP development costs exceeded $100,000 per pad. Developing a new mobile home park requires significant investment in utilities and infrastructure such as roads and amenities. These high costs can deter developers and investors from pursuing new park projects. When Ryan and I are doing quick evaluations of whether to purchase a mobile home park, one metric we will look at is whether the price per pad is more or less than 100x the average monthly lot rent. We call this the 100x test. To visualize this, let's say we are thinking about developing a mobile home park on a piece of land. We're projecting that once we complete the development, we can get about $700 in average monthly lot rent. Sounds great in theory. We need to price out the cost to develop this park on a per pad basis. In doing so, we determined that it will cost us $100,000 per pad to develop this park. So using our test, we take our $700 average monthly lot rent and we multiply it by 100. We arrive at $70,000 per pad. This is our 100x multiple. Now we compare that 100x multiple to our development cost of $100,000 per pad. Now we can see that the cost is 50% higher than our 100x multiple. This is a quick and reliable indication that we aren't going to be profitable on this development. You would have to get $1,000 in site rent or more to pass this test, and there are very few markets where this is achievable. I can already hear the next question on the tip of your tongue. Well, why don't we develop in a market where a lot rent of $1,000 is achievable? That would be nice, wouldn't it? However, think back to my story. There are a lot of hurdles in those markets, specifically Miami, New York, Chicago, LA, that are going to prevent you from developing there due to the regulatory hurdles, due to all the issues surrounding really better MSAs. Which of course brings us to reason 2, regulatory hurdles. The higher the potential lot rent, the more likely it is that you are in an area of high density with more affluent residents closer to a central business district. This means you have higher chances of dealing with more stringent zoning and entitlement rules and regulations. Many municipalities have zoning laws and regulations that restrict or limit the development of new mobile home parks. These regulations may be in place due to concerns about land use, environmental impact, or perceived negative effects on property values. It also comes down to the municipality's desire to generate the most tax revenue. From a tax revenue standpoint, put yourself in the shoes of the municipality. The highest and best use of any land is generally not going to be a mobile home park, especially when compared to a large, let's say, mixed-use multifamily with commercial retail below. Think about the difference between collecting tax revenue from 50 mobile home parks, which would equate to about 50 below average median incomes, versus potentially thousands of residents living in apartments above and collecting sales tax from the shops and restaurants below them. In short, towns and cities are not incentivized to give zoning and entitlement approval to mobile home parks versus other more tax lucrative development opportunities. But municipalities aren't just monetarily disincentivized, they are also reputationally disincentivized. This brings us to reason 3, community opposition. The public backlash to building mobile home parks is also a massive hurdle. I once heard a statistic, and I'm not sure if it's true, but it stated that the surrounding neighborhood of a mobile home park sees their property values drop 30%. This lingering reputation about mobile home parks, whether true or not, means that both the municipality officials and residents of that city will likely oppose the development of a new park. Even if you manage to convince the town's officials, resident opposition can lead to delays or outright rejection of new park proposals. So there you have it. For those 3 reasons, it is both a bad investment decision most of the time on the part of the developer and also a very difficult regulatory endeavor to develop a new mobile home park. But while the tone of this video has been somewhat negative and bearish, the point of the video is to drive home the fact that for these reasons, they aren't building any more mobile home parks. That means that the supply will continue to remain constant or constrained, and the demand for your product will always remain massively high due to this shortage of affordable housing. That makes investing in existing mobile home parks a very good proposition, especially if you can find one with significantly below market rents and less than optimized operations. This wraps up our discussion of how supply and demand dynamics are stacked in your favor. I hope this was helpful. In the next video, we'll continue our hype session on the many reasons why mobile home parks are such a good investment. For now, thanks for watching. Keep learning, keep growing, and I'll see you soon.